We are now recording, by the way.
Yeah.
And we're just going to continue the conversation we're having before we get into it. We're talking about how to get fresh water. So my thing lately has been like, I don't want to accumulate plastic, but I also want fresh water. Mm-hmm. So I've been buying like jugs of Poland Spring every single day, like those big gallon jugs. But now I'm accumulating all this plastic. So how do you get your water? Do you have to use plastic? Like what?
Well, I bought the original 5-gallon buckets from Walmart or whatever, but I think the cheapest ones are at like Lowe's.
Yeah.
Then use that water up. Then I take the 5-gallon bucket to my folks' place and just put it up to the spigot and just go psh and fill it up.
Dude, I need to do something like that because like I would get a water filter at home, but I don't trust it. Like I don't really trust that the at-home water filters are actually working. You know?
I have a Big Berkey. You heard of them?
No, I have
they're
no idea.
really good. They're like super bred. Like they're expensive, but you can get like the fluoride attachments too. Like they'll take out all the bad particles, supposedly leaving the good ones, and take out fluoride as well.
Even though I get the Poland Spring in the bottle, I don't technically know if it's any better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what they're doing with that water. Like when you get Poland Spring, like at the store, like how do I know that it's actually like filtered water, you know?
When you drink like well water and then you go back to the Poland Spring, you'll taste the difference. Like you'll know.
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh.
Drink some tap water.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, this is the Pranzata Podcast. If you are new here, don't forget to hit subscribe and like. I put out weekly content here. I do like a bi-weekly rotation where 1 week is a music video and the other week is a podcast. So here we have the very first not first podcast, but the very first in flesh person of 2021 on this podcast. His name is Vincent Troyani. I said that correctly, right?
You said it perfectly. I can't even say my name correctly.
Is that Italian, your name?
Yes.
It sounds very Italian. And
yes.
I also have a very Italian name, but you don't look Italian. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that. Are you 100% Italian or do you just have a really Italian name?
I just have a really Italian name.
What's your other stuff?
So my dad's side is like Italian. Trieste and I don't know, other parts of there. And then my mom's side is kind of like mixed European. So I got like some Polish, some Russian, some Hungarian.
I definitely see that. I
Super
definitely
Jew.
see the super Jew.
Yeah.
I definitely see like
It's
the
really nice.
Polish and the Hungarian.
It's a good mix. I get like pizza bagel all the time.
Pizza bagel.
Yeah. The Jews and the Italians, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. So to introduce you formally, if I had to give you one name, I would like of what you are and what you do, I would say you are a multi-creative person because you do a lot of shit, like more than I can keep up with because I was doing my research. So you own VTX Studios.
VTX, baby. VTX.
What does the X stand for? That was a question I had.
Oh, shit. X got a lot of meanings. There's no one meaning. It's just VTX.
So VT as in Vincent Troyani and X
you
is
got
like...
experience, extreme, extravagant, extraordinary, excellent,
excited,
X-Men. No, that's not excited. Like, yeah, it's VTX. One of my mentors helped me come up with the name. I don't know how it happened. Am I allowed to shout people out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so Victor Bernard, Coach Vic, got a great band called The Victor. You can check them out, and The Victor is. And he's been one of my mentors, like, going through the years. That's really helped me, work on leadership skills and music skills and branding and stuff like that. And one day it was like, oh, VTX. I was like, okay.
That's a really good name. We just discovered in my living room, because I have hand weights, that one of my hand weights is called VTX, like the brand.
Yeah, fuck them.
Fuck those motherfuckers.
Yeah. I'm glad we can curse on this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
I do teach, and I'm sure one of these days one of my young students is going to stumble upon one of these podcasts, but we'll cross that bridge when it gets there.
Yeah, I mean, they know all those words anyway.
Yeah. So you're a multi-creative. You own VTX Studios. You're a producer, a saxophone player, a multi-instrumentalist. So from what I saw on your...
those videos are embarrassing.
So from what I saw on your Instagram and your YouTube, you play keyboard, guitar, bass guitar, and drums, and saxophone. Anything else that you play?
I mean, I'll make noise with anything. Like,
no, but you can't. Like,
literally,
you can.
I will make noise with anything.
Like, you definitely.
I'll throw something down the stairs and record it and see what happens.
Your expertise is definitely saxophone, but you can play other. Like, from what I've seen, you can play.
I dabble. I wouldn't play a lot of those instruments in public, but the recording studio is nice because you can like do multiple takes and try different things, and people don't have to be like, oh, you're supposed to be entertaining me right now. Why do you sound like a cat dying in an elevator?
I mean, I guess if you're a producer, you kind of have to have at least a basic knowledge of all these different instruments in order to do what you do. I would imagine that.
You would hope. I don't think you have to,
yeah,
but it can't hurt.
I have to pour your drink. I totally forgot that.
Pour it up.
Action.
Shout out to Kiba. Pour it up.
Let's see if we can get that sexy opening the wine sound. Watch, it won't happen. Oh, yeah.
It was good. Plus, that one had the clink in it, too.
Cheers.
All right. To 2021.
2021.
Happy
First in the Flesh podcast.
Yo, that's crazy. I didn't realize I was going to be the first one, but, I'm happy to kick it off. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you're doing your thing, grinding,
Thank you.
I'm really impressed by your whole setup. So just wishing you success,
Thank you.
Health, happiness, wealth, and your team is soon to come too.
My team.
Yeah, absolutely. They will.
We were just talking about how I very much envy him because he's I'm a one-man show. I do all this myself, and he has he sent me a picture of he had fucking 10 guys or 5 guys, they were painting the wall for him. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I have to get there one day.
I have to stop you there because it's really not for me. Everyone that's a part of the team right now, we are sharing a mission and an objective and a vision, and no one person is more important than any other one. And we're all, it might take some time to figure out how we all fall into place within the project, but that's part of building a team. And I think something that's really special about what's going on is everybody really feels like they're building something together. Yeah. And I never, ever try to make anyone feel like it's for me.
Yeah, I didn't mean to make you sound like an evil dictator.
No. But there are people that run businesses like that.
Yeah.
And they want to run businesses like that. And it's fine. But the type of vibe we're going for is it's a collective.
Yeah.
And even you have core team members.
Yeah.
But, even there's maybe 5 or 10 people that are there every day. There's all... the clients and the people that come into work, they're slowly becoming team members too, because they're just part of the process. And even though they're maybe working on a project that's not directly related to VTX and how they're going to release it, and it's they're a solo artist or they're part of a band, at the end of the day, it's a collaboration.
Yeah.
And then, we have a huge network of talented, there's got to be 50, 100 people just in Central Jersey ready to work.
Yeah.
That do all sorts of things. So the creatives are there. Now it's a matter of finding more of where the business and the marketing and those people are a little bit harder and a little bit rarer.
That's something that's I find really rough about being the one-man show type is okay, I do all this stuff and I make my podcasts and the Instagram videos, but then there's the other element of okay, now we've got to promote it, and I hate that part.
Yeah.
That's such a boner killer, I guess you could say.
Killer.
It's very
nice.
In the, I mean, you know what I mean. In the creative process, I find it to be a mood killer. So yeah.
Yeah, it uses the other part of your brain. You have the creative part, and then you have the analytical part. So it definitely, it's hard to do both at the same time. Probably impossible. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so creating a team where it's not so VTX, I've been doing it for a few years, and for a very long time it was, VTX, cool, I want to hit that up because I want to work with Vincent Troyani.
Yeah.
And now it's a situation like VTX, okay, I want to hit them up because I want to work with that team. So since making it less about me and more about the team, that promotional aspect of it is sitting with me a lot better, because in the past I never wanted to post or promote anything. I was kind of a little bit self-conscious, and I don't know, I just didn't like to do it, kind of the way you were describing it. And then the team just happened recently. Yeah. I'm talking a couple weeks ago. So
what switched in your mentality that you suddenly wanted to build a team? Is this something you read or just something you've been wanting to do and then you just needed a plan of action to put it to work? What all of a sudden the shift recently?
Sorry, I thought I was about to burp. So I've been thinking about it for a while, and I've known that, no matter what kind of project or endeavor or business, or even if it's an actor or actress, you know them as like a famous celebrity, there's always a team of people behind them. So like you need a team to be successful and do something great, you know? So even though it seems like, oh, this is just this one person and they like were able to make it happen, like, nah, there's always like somebody, there's a crew of people, or even just one other person that's like got some support and is like helping along the way. So I've known that for a while. It became a matter of finding the best people and the best fit. And I actually put like a post on Facebook at one time, like, hey, I'm looking for an apprentice, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I had a couple people like hit me up, but I soon realized that there was people like right in front of me that were like ready to go. And I just didn't realize it. So Ian Young is kind of like my right-hand man right now and has really motivated me a lot and been like a rock to support like what VTX is doing. He's at Rutgers. He's taking a semester off. So he's ready to just go all in. You know what I mean? And he plays in a really cool band called Rugburn. So if any of y'all want to check out Rugburn. Yeah, with Jem Seidel and Josh Siegel
Jem is an
and
amazing
Carter
drummer.
Vames, and their shows are phenomenal and their music is great. I've produced 2 full-length albums with them and then 2 singles recently. So if you guys want to check out Rugburn, I would definitely peep that.
Yeah, I don't know the guys in the band, but I do know Jem. He used to play drums with me. Like he filled in my band when I didn't have a drummer. I was blown away by his skills. He's like young, but he's wise with his skills. So yeah,
I met him when he was like 9.
He was probably just as good. Like,
he was coming to a jazz jam session and playing drums and violin when he was like 9-10 years old and just hanging with like, I was in early college. A lot of the people I like hang out with today I met at that jam session.
Oh shit, yeah.
And he was there at a very early age.
Is this the same jam session that you said you met my teacher, Eitan?
Yeah, met Eitan, met so many people.
Eitan.
So we should do it. PJ's Coffee used to be in Highland Park.
Yeah.
And it was a jam session run by Jim Jason. Yeah. And every Sunday from 1 to 5, we'd get together and play jazz tunes.
Nice.
And do the whole thing. And a lot of long-term relationships panned out.
Yeah. So I guess the gist of what we can gather from this is that one-man show is cool, but at some point it's really good to build a community of people. That's what I'm gathering from the,
Definitely.
So I have some questions for you. So I like to start my podcast. I have a lot of questions about what you do, but I like to start the podcast with questions that have nothing to do with what you do as just like a fun little experiment. Okay. So one question I have for you is, what is a major character flaw that you have that you consciously know you need to work on? Like, that's
an amazing question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to ask other people that.
Yeah.
So they can like take an objective approach and just tell me like, I can handle it now. Just let me know. Throughout my life, I've kind of liked to start projects, but not finish them. So like I get very excited and this is new, this is fun, I can't wait. And then as soon as I kind of hit that dip, I'm like, oh shit, let me try something else.
Yeah.
So I guess one might call me a quitter, but, so I always like to try new things and experiment, and it was hard to like stick something through to really nourish that tree to the point where you really get the juicy fruits.
What's your horoscope? Not that like if you believe this, but I know a lot of the people who follow me probably believe this. What's your horoscope?
I fuck with horoscopes. I think it's really interesting. It's not like, I don't take it to the point of like, oh my God, you're that sign. Like we can't talk. It's never going to work out type of thing. And I actually have done my full natal chart before. Really? Yeah.
What are you?
Could you guess?
Well, okay, I'm a Gemini, and shit. I was guessing you are based on the fact that you said you're like a multi. Are you a Gemini?
Yeah, I'm a Gemini.
No, what's your Don't tell me you have. Okay. What's your birthday? Guess mine. Okay, you. I had to guess yours. You guessed mine.
You probably lean a little bit more towards Taurus, if I was gonna guess, but I think
no. I think the other way.
More towards Cancer.
Yeah. So, what am I? What's my birthday?
June.
No.
Really? There's Geminis in July?
Well, maybe I am more towards Taurus. Maybe you're right.
You're May, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I fucked it up. I knew I leaned one way. That's what she said.
She said that about leaning?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, okay, you're right, though. I do lean more towards the Taurus end.
You definitely have that Taurus, like, let's go. Let's fucking make this shit happen.
So then, what number?
I don't know, like May 27.
Really close. Really?
29.
Less
26.
Close. Less close. I mean, more close.
We're just going to go like, I can't count.
25th.
Okay, 25th.
Can I guess yours now? Okay, so Okay, so Cancer is more like the sweet type, I feel like, if we're leaning one way. Cancer's the sweet type, and then Taurus is the bull. I would say you're more towards the bull, too. I mean...
Does that mean I'm not sweet?
Doesn't mean you're not sweet. You are sweet. I think you're sweet, but you do also have like a go-getter energy about you. So I would... Maybe you're in the middle. Maybe you're both sweet and a go-getter. So I would say June.
Sweet and savory.
June.
Correct.
2nd.
5th.
Oh, shit.
Very close.
Cheers to almost guessing. Cheers to being a Gemini. That was the first thing.
Gemini gang, yo. All you haters out there, stop hating on Geminis because you're sleeping on us. You don't really know what's going on. And fuck that like 2 personality shit. We got like 10, 20 personalities.
20, and that's why we're multi-creatives. Exactly. Because I totally called that shit because he was like, I start a project and I don't finish it. I'm like, that is so much like how I feel. I actually have a question about that later. Okay, last annoying, difficult question. What is something that happened recently within the past like couple weeks that pissed you off? Like somebody fucking pissed you off. Somebody grinded your fucking gears. Like a pet peeve. Like somebody did. Oh
shit. You know what it is? I'm going to talk about this all day. It always boils down to communication. You cannot work with other humans and accomplish things. And I don't care what your goal is that you want to accomplish. Maybe it's just to have a friendly relationship with someone, or, you know, squash the beef with your parents, or build a whole company. You need to communicate with people, and you need to do it honestly and continuously.
Oh shit.
You cannot, because you know what happens? I've been dealing with this. It's like it all boils down to communication. So check it out. Someone hits you up, right? And you don't hit them back. Not only do they not know what it is you need to communicate with them, but now their brain is like starting to like generate things to fill that like void. Ideas, like, why isn't they talking to me? Are they mad at me?
Yeah.
Like, did I say something wrong? Is there like, do they, you know, and it's just like, that could just go on and on and on. And until it's like, oh, all you have to tell them, it's okay. People can hear no. And people can, like, if I had to mix something for someone and it was going to take a week. Yeah. If I just told them like, look, it's going to take like a little bit extra time, bear with me, they'll be cool. But if I was going to turn it over to them in 3 days, but I didn't talk to them for that 3 days, they're like stressed out. Like they don't even know when I'm going to mix their shit. And they're going to be like thinking like, is my song ever going to get mixed? Or something like that. So it's always like, I've realized that people always say communication's important, and you have to be on the same page, but it's like that the way the mind just starts like filling that void when someone's not talking to you, it's like that shit can drive you crazy. So are you saying you're the person who fills the void, or you notice that people fill the void, or you both do it? I think everyone does it. I think that's a human characteristic. Like if someone's not talking to you, you're going to wonder why. And then if you have a question, if it's about a question, you're going to wonder what the answer is. Yeah. And it's just like, it's really funny you bring that up, because on my last podcast, that's my last solo podcast I did, I talked about my goals for 2021. And one of my 2021 goals is to be a better communicator, because I have a tendency to like be embarrassed to confront people. Yep. So like if I have an emotional thing that I have to say, or I'm upset about something, I'm terrified. Like anytime I've only ever like communicated these things, I can only do it in text form. I'm like paralyzed to do it in person form. And even when I do it in text form, it takes me so long to do it that I like, by the time I get to them, I'm like done with them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, rather than communicating things as they come, I like bottle all this shit up, and then one day I'm like, here's a huge list of everything you fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? So I totally I can relate to that 100%. And it only keeps piling up and piling up. So like communication should happen quickly and should happen honestly. And you got to realize like everyone kind of feels emotions. So like, you don't have to take it personally. So that's something I'm also working on, is like not taking things personally. Nothing's really personal. Even if someone says a personal attack on me, more than likely it's more about how they feel about themselves than how they feel about me. Oh yeah. And if somebody is going to really like, if like a homie or like a close friend is going to come to me and be like, yo, you need to work on this. Like this is like heading in the wrong direction. They're going to come from that area of love, and it's not going to be because they want to chew me out. It's going to be because they really want to see me do better. That's what I said on the last podcast too. I said, like, if you're ready to communicate, it's got to come from a place of love and not ego, because you can be mistaken. Like, oh, I'm going to tell him how it is. And you can think you're trying to communicate with somebody when you're trying to like kind of bully them, I guess. But you have to know, like, in your heart, like, is this communication coming from a place of love and respect and actually wanting to improve the relationship, as opposed to like shitting on the person? You know what I mean? Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with how we feel about ourselves. So like self-reflection and meditation and journaling and all this sort of stuff helps, because you can really like get your mind just does it, especially as a Gemini. But everyone, it's like your mind just does that. Like,
yeah,
you got to get it out.
Okay, I have another question for you. So that's all the like personal questions. I like to start my podcast with personal questions. I don't know if that's a bad thing.
What do you hate about life? Like,
like, what's your biggest flaw? Like,
yeah.
Well, okay, I'm
flaw one was good though. People should always be trying to think about that.
I'm on kind of like a journey of self-awareness, and I want to promote self-awareness, and I want to like inspire my guests, follow my subscribers, my followers to be more self-aware, because I think it's really important to develop a sense of self-awareness. So I like to ask these questions as a way to kind of like build that self-awareness tool. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay, so now I have music. Now that I've gotten the uncomfortable questions out of the way, I have music-related questions. So,
I hate music.
During the quarantine, because I feel like there was two types of people. There was like the fucking gun-ho, like, I'm going to use this free time to get shit done. And then there's the other person that's like, oh, fuck. Like, there's people I see now that I don't recognize anymore because they've gained 20 pounds. Like, so which quarantine person were you? Were you kind of both? Or were you like I'm going to fucking own this quarantine? Or were you like, I'm going to let shit go? Like, which one were you?
Damn. I would like to say that I was gung-ho, but I did crazy shit, man. I went into a pretty deep depression, but like, I don't like... I realize now that depression is like natural, and like in that moment I was like really incubating and cultivating what was going to happen moving forward with this team. And that's one of the reasons why I was able to move so quickly, because as the team leader, you got to like fucking have that vision and then communicate the vision to other people. And I wasn't even, one of the reasons I was so depressed was because I knew I wanted to have a team, but I didn't know exactly like what the vision was. So it was kind of like, festering and incubating. And I did crazy shit. Like I watched like all 4 Avengers movies in like one day, like shit like that. So I did some of that. But then I was also like, I was doing gigs, and I always like, I could never say no to people. So I always like took like work. So I had a lot of work. So I think I found a good balance between like doing all the shit I had to do and doing like nothing extra. Wow.
Yeah, that just sparked a lot of like thought, because it's so funny how a lot of the things you're saying are like addressing a lot of the questions I had for you. Okay. So the next question. Okay, as a multi-creative, and this kind of goes into the Gemini thing, and we were even touching on this. I personally found that I had like an identity crisis, and you kind of even answered this right now. I personally found that as a multi-creative, I had an identity crisis where like once upon a time I thought I was going to be a pianist, and like I was like, okay, I can handle this. Like I'm going to be a pianist. I'm going to practice piano, put all my efforts towards being a pianist. And then all of a sudden I started to like comedy, and I started to like songwriting, and I started to like this. And at a certain point I was like kind of getting depressed, because I was like, who am I? Like I thought I was just a pianist, but now I'm interested in all these other things. So my question for you is, as a multi-creative, do you have any like tips for like do you, because this is stuff I'm trying to figure out, do you like laser focus something on your list, or do you kind of answer this a little bit, but or do you like find certain things that you put more attention to and you delegate those specific things and kind of like put the other things behind you? Like how do you deal with that,
So like I didn't even know the term like multi-creative for like a while. I didn't know like that was a thing. And I think nowadays people are sort of accepting being a multi-creative as like an identity in itself, which is kind of cool, because now you don't have to feel like, because it was for the history of everything, it was like you pick one thing, you do it, you become really good at it. Yeah. And now it's like really kind of new and cutting edge with like everything that's going on. Is like, okay, I can get good at like a bunch of different things and kind of work it that way. The danger does lie in sticking with something long enough so that you can actually reap those rewards and those benefits. Yeah. Because I do believe in the 10,000 hour rule, in order to master something. Yeah. So,
yeah. So,
excuse me. But it's cool that like, I definitely feel more comfortable. I forgot what the original question was, but
like it's okay. The original question was like, in order, so to kind of add on to what you're saying, so you're saying even though there's a way to balance all these things, and there is such thing as being multi-creative, which is like what I consider myself, and I can totally agree with you where I'm like, oh my god, I'm a pianist, but I'm a this, I'm a that, holy shit, I'm a multi-creative. Okay, just like put a zipper, we're good. But how do you balance these things in order to get 10,000 in each thing? Like, do you out of all the things you can do you pick only like 3 things and those are your things?
I don't even know what balance is, honestly. I don't know if I've ever been able to achieve it, but actually this year I've kind of like starting to get tastes of it and to understand what it is. So there's kind of 2 aspects. There's the one where like, wow, this is new and exciting and I love this, and my inner child creative spirit is like fucking hitting a piñata and like going crazy, right? And then there's like, okay, I might not really want to do this right now, but I really have to because it's like the right thing to do to achieve the goals that I want. And I think it's kind of like a balance between those 2 and honoring, the important things. But like honoring your creative spirit and child is an important thing too. But there's always going to be shit in life that like, fuck, I don't really want to do this. It's a little bit of a drag. Yeah. But I think there's a different angle to approach those things so that you can get excited about them too. And that comes from that vision of what you're trying to create. So yeah, up till this point, I didn't even know balance was like a word. And I'm kind of like just starting to get little taste of it. And having a team and like a support group of people that are like-minded, they really keep me in check and help me balance. Cause I get fucking manic, crazy manic, like all night, like, and then they're able to pull me back. Cause like in the past, it would be like the to-do list starts stacking up, right? I'm like, cool, I got stuff to do. And then it's like, gets like longer and longer. And like, I can't check things off like fast enough to like keep up with the new things that are being added. And then at that point, that's when like the anxiety kicks in. And I'm just like, oh shit, like I'm overwhelmed.
Dude, this like naturally leads into the next question. The next question is, okay, I'm a morning person and it doesn't really work for me because if I am going to be doing this creative work, like stand up, like that's a night thing. You know what I mean? Like you have to perform at night. Writing music, I feel like staying up late and doing that. Like, my question for you is, are you naturally a night person, or like how much sleep do you get? Like, you know what I mean? Like to get all these things done, do you sleep 8 hours, or are you a night person, or do you, like, what's your routine there?
Damn. So it's changed over the years and on the seasons and everything like that. Like, recently an artist that I'm working with, Bancho Roche, he's got me on some like new, kind of like personal development lifestyle changes that have enabled me to sleep less, have more energy, and just like enjoy life like way more thoroughly. And they're so fucking simple, you wouldn't even believe it.
Can you tell it? Can you get us in?
Yeah, should I just jump right into it?
Dude, get us in on the tips. That's what I'm here for.
All right, cool. So, all right, Bancho, don't come out with this if you're charging for this material. But no, it's stuff I've been like,
I'll block him.
No. It's stuff I've been like, I've known about for a really long time, but he was able to just boil it down into like the easiest thing. So, the first one is you should always breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, no matter what, unless you're so exhausted and panting from being on a run that you need to take in that oxygen so quickly. Your nose is a fucking filter. That's literally what it's designed to do. So if you breathe in through your nose, you get more oxygen, cleaner air, and then the mouth is like the exhaust, and it's kind of built that way. I'm also like breathing
because now that we're talking about it. Yeah,
dude, you notice like when you talk about breathing, you just like want to breathe.
Yeah, it feels good.
So it doesn't even have to, like when I was first getting into it, I had to be like conscious of it, and I'd be like and everyone's looking at me like, dude, are you okay? Like, why are you breathing so, like, but then as you do it more, you kind of just you can take like long deep breaths and like let it out, and it's not like so audible, so people are like looking at you like you're kind of crazy. And that mechanism is kind of built in as the air filter. And also like we chew our food and swallow from our mouth. So if you're breathing in through your mouth all the time, it's like a choking hazard, you know?
I've actually read somewhere that the power of breathing has like the power, if you breathe correctly, it has the power to like cure disease. Like I've actually read this before, and it's not like hocus pocus. Like doctors have talked about it. Like if you just take the time to breathe deeply through your nose and like really feel it. And I like the point you made about it doesn't have to be so audible. Like it doesn't have to be like because that's sorry for everybody who just had to hear that.
You get some on Wim Hof.
Yeah,
like,
that's actually like counter productive because then you're like tensing up everything. It can just be like it's just like so it feels so relaxing, and I've read like amazing stuff about that it has like the power to literally heal disease, like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. You can when you bring more awareness, inspiration, literally breathing into your body, like
cheers
you can
to that.
All right, cheers to that.
I love when I like discover the meaning of a word in that way. Inspiration. Inspiration.
And was it out like respiration?
Yeah.
Or respiration's the whole process.
Shit.
Okay, so you get your inspiration, and then you become more aware of, like, you can actually start to feel your body vibrate a little bit, and you become aware of your cells, and then at that point you can kind of use your mind's awareness to go into certain parts of your body. This is something my cousin Dana told me about. If you're experiencing some kind of pain, like, go into it and like, what color is the pain? Dude. What shape is the pain? What consistency? Is it metal? Is it wood? Is it like, and then try to like, it's like all visualization, obviously, but can you take the pain out and like see it in front of you and try to like,
have you ever had any like chronic pain issues? Like,
oh yeah, man, my back is all fucked up.
Me too. I had tendinitis for 1 year, like, or even longer, like a year and a half. So I actually had to stop playing piano for a year and a half once. And I have scoliosis. Like my back is really like S-curve. So I've had horrible back pain, but thank God, like all those pains went away. I don't know how, I don't know why, but just over time, I get the little...
You're doing the right thing.
Yeah, like I get the little tweak here and there, but not that like chronic pain. You know,
but you're aware of it. So when that little tweak happens, you can like, all right, I got to chill and like be aware of it. And yeah, the body is like built and designed to heal itself.
Yeah.
So but it needs that inspiration and awareness to do it.
It could go too far though, because what ended up happening was once I became aware of my pain, I then became afraid of pain, which would make the pain worse. So I got into like a vicious cycle where I was like, I'm in pain. Like now every time I have pain, I'm terrified of pain. So I've had to get myself to a place where I'm like, here's the pain. Like, don't stress about it. Here's the routine I have to do to take care of it and not like get psychotic.
Do you take cold showers?
Fuck no. No.
That's a good place to start.
You and I are very different in those ways. Like
take those cold ass showers.
No, I'm sure it's good for you, but no way.
Well, like it's fucking, is it painful? Yeah, it's incredibly uncomfortable at the least.
Yeah.
But it's like you feel great afterwards. You're like, damn.
Oh, that
and like
horrific.
I think you will feel differently about the way you're thinking about pain if you can get through like a 30-second little 1 minute cold shower.
Dude, I fainted at my last tattoo session.
Okay, well maybe you should maybe you should get a shower chair for when you do it, just in case.
I asked her, I was like, the tattoo artist, I was like, is this normal? And she was like, pretty normal. She's like, once a month it happens. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so apparently when I didn't know this. Everybody that I've talked to that I'm like, the first time I'm getting tattooed, they're like, I'm like, is it going to hurt me? And they're like, no, you get used to it. And then every time I go in to get it done, I don't get used to it. It gets worse and worse. So I don't think I have a great pain tolerance. So I'm afraid to take a cold shower.
Yeah, I don't either. And I bruise really easily. So
must be the European boy in you.
It must be. Totally.
Do you get sunburn?
Hell yeah, I get sunburn.
I could tell.
Hell yeah.
Sunburn. I'm also half European. Like, I mean, Italian is European, but you know what I mean? I'm 50%. My dad is Italian. So I'm 50% Italian and 50% Ukrainian. So I'm kind of similar to you a little bit. But I feel like I definitely have more of the Italian like genes the way I look, because in the summer I get like black, like my skin gets like really dark if I go in the sun, which I'm trying to do less lately because there's the whole thing of like aging and wrinkling. So I'm like not trying to go in the sun as much.
No, but the sun is important. It's like it's information, for our bodies.
Elaborate.
No, it's like it's the source of life, on our planet, and it's like you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to go too deep into that. No, you could check out Young Pharaoh if you want to. I learned a lot from him.
I understand what you mean, because like, that room is really sunny in there.
Yeah.
And I noticed my cats are so fucking happy in it.
Oh,
like,
they love that
they
shit.
roll, like, I don't know if your dog is that way, but like,
oh yeah, she was laying outside today.
dude, they roll around in the sun, and I kind of feel the same way. Like if I just take a moment to like you were doing the push-ups in there, and like if you just take a moment to like just sit and relax and breathe there without your phone and stuff like that, it's like the sun is, it's like a god. Like it's amazing, literally. You know?
Worship that shit.
Sun worshiper.
Yeah.
Okay, more questions. Technology. Okay. From the conversations I've had with you, I can tell you're the type of person who like reads a lot. Like you try to improve yourself. Maybe not like you don't. If you're a Gemini, you don't finish the book.
So I read this book recently. I didn't finish it, but it's called How to Read a Book. And I would highly recommend it because there was some shit in there that I never thought about. And I was very good at math growing up. So I was the kid that was like horrified to go to English class because I didn't do the reading, and I knew they were going to call me and ask me some shit about it. And it was like serious anxiety. And I never was like confident about reading. And I don't want to go as far as to say I was dyslexic, but like I would read a paragraph and maybe my mind was somewhere else. So I would like finish the page of the paragraph and I'd be like, what the fuck did I just read? Mm-hmm. I couldn't like zone in. So that was with me all the way up until college when I was having some like insomnia issues and couldn't fall asleep. I tried everything like stretching, smoking, whatever, like all these different things. But the only thing that helped me fall asleep was reading. That was it. And I would get to the point where like I couldn't fucking keep my eyes open, or I would like wake up and the book is in my hand. I knew as soon as I shut the light and put the book down, I was out. That's
exactly what happens to me. When I read, like within a few minutes, I get tired. And I'm like, okay, like I want to read more, but I can't. Same exact thing. It just relaxes me, So, which is a good thing. I should read more before bed instead of like scrolling YouTube.
And one of the things that's great that was in this book, How to Read a Book, is you don't have to read. Like, I feel like I always wanted to read a book from the beginning to the end, and that was how I read the book. But like, you don't have to. You could be in like 10 books at once, and you can just. And another thing I never did, I never read the table of contents.
Oh. Wait, what? I don't want to read that either. Yeah.
Read the table. So like the first step, before you even read the book, you read the cover, you read the back, and then you go through the table of contents.
Things you want to.
Then you know what the book is trying to tell you before you even start reading. Like, do I even want to read this book? Yeah. I might not even want to read this book.
I'm actually reading right now. Did you ever read Think and Grow Rich?
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's kind of heady. I like it.
Yeah. Like side note, it's a great book, but I'm not like terribly woke, I guess you could say, because I am like into comedy, and I feel like as a comedian, like you believe in freedom of speech. So it's hard for me to be like 100% leftist. But in that book, I do see a lot of like white man, like anti-woman shit in there. Like
bit. Totally.
Like, you know what I mean?
What was it? It was written in like the 50s or something.
Yeah, like they've had chapters about like here's how a colored girl like stood up to the white man, and like here's the tips, like and then they're always like giving tips to like men. They're like, oh, the men, the good men. So I'm just like, all right, like I'm not really like a terribly woke person, but I can see like the
thing is, like with stuff like that, it's kind of like you got to take what you can gain and leave the rest.
Yeah.
The rest. Because that kind of shit is totally like a reflection of the time, but there's definitely some visualization and manifestation type stuff in there that I was like, whoa, this is deep.
It's really good. So I have to take it from that perspective where it's like, okay, I know when this was made, and I kind of have to like oversee some of this uncomfortable stuff. But as a woman, I can now in 2021 take this information and like use it for myself, because like some of the stuff there is like really good,
Classic.
Hell yeah.
Richest Man in Babylon, another classic.
I never read that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So, okay, we didn't even get to the question because we got on a side tangent.
Okay.
So my question for you is, I feel like, because I started on with the reading, I feel like because you read, like you seem like you're somebody who at the very least wants to improve yourself, or at least you tried to read books. What do you do? What is your routine because one of my goals for 2021 is to put the phone down more and to focus deeply in my work. I feel like you're good at that because like you don't always answer like text right away. And I'm like always at my phone ready to answer a text, and it's very distracting. I'm almost thinking of getting a second phone. So like what tips do you have like that help you focus on your work and not answer right away or not scroll Instagram all day? Like, you know, how do you deal with that? Or are you not even addicted to it?
I didn't even do the second 2 personal development things I've been on, but we can come to that because this is a good question. And we were talking about communication before, so it's really important. It depends on the level of communication, who you're communicating with. But like, I think that if it takes somebody longer than like 6 hours to get back to you, they probably forgot about you. So like I try to like hit someone back within that 6 hour window, and I kind of run my life. The longest I'll go hard on one thing is probably like 3 hours. Like I'll do like a 3 hour session with a client or an artist, and like that's at the point where I'm like, I kind of need a break. I kind of need a break at like 2 hours. Yeah. So that's when I'll check my phone. So I'll just shut it off.
Where do you put it? You just shut it off, or like what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I like sometimes I'll glance at it, but like if you're like with a producer and he's on his phone and shit, that's rude as fuck. Like it's supposed to be.
Well, that's different. Like when I'm teaching lessons, I don't look at my phone.
So do whatever you do while you're in your lessons when you're doing that. I
can't. Like when I'm by myself. I know it's rude to do it with people, but I'm talking like if I'm practicing a jazz thing that I'm working on, I always have my fucking phone there. And it's at the point where like I said, I'm actually considering getting a second phone and having like one.
Like the problem is the phone, and then I'm sorry I interrupted you, but it's
go ahead.
The problem is the phone, so let me get another phone.
No, because here's the thing. I need the phone there for like when I need to like YouTube a song or Google a song or look up a chord chart. So I need the phone. I need these technologies.
So airplane mode with the Wi-Fi on, so you can't get calls or texts. But
I need to learn how to do that.
You just put it in airplane mode and then put the Wi-Fi back on. But you won't get like the data.
You'll have to show me later because I know I sound like an idiot right now, but I need. No,
you're fine. It's in the.
To figure out how to
we got the Apple products.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm
shout out to Apple, even though I was like a PC guy for the longest time, but like I slowly went all over to Mac because like I don't know, the workflow has been helpful. The AirDrop shit, iMessage, just like Logic Pro is slamming. Final Cut has been slamming. It's just like everything's working together real seamlessly. So I definitely noticed like a productivity boost when I switched to Apple, and people have been telling me that for a long time. And I was like, nah, I'm like PC all the time. Like,
I have a PC. Maybe I should get an Apple one day.
Nah, fuck it. But like, I don't know. It became a thing when it's like collaborating, because it's like, okay, boom, I do a mix, and then I can AirDrop it to myself, and then I can text it. Bang. Yeah. And before I had to get the USB stick or like email it to myself or blah, 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 and go through all these hoops. And it was just like really quick. I don't know if PC is doing like some sort of thing that's like AirDrop in that sort of aspect. They probably are. But anyway, digress.
So another question for you. Because a lot of my subscribers are also musicians and they want to record stuff for like their Instagram, but they're not necessarily producers. What is a dummy, like a good program for beginners that they can record little tidbits like
musical stuff or whatever?
Like music stuff. Yeah. Like I use Ableton. I think Ableton's, for me, it's actually kind of too hard for beginners.
I couldn't even learn how to do Ableton.
Yeah. Well, my ex-boyfriend, shout out to Robbie, we're still good friends. He used Ableton. So I was like asking him for help, like, hey, I want to record my stuff. And he was like, here, I'll give you Ableton. I'm like, I can't do this. And he's like, just do it. So now I have it. And I did learn how to do the basics, but like, if I was to start over, like, and I was somebody else who didn't use Ableton, like Pro Tools, like what's the best like dummy, like?
I'm sorry to say it, but GarageBand, you got to get the Mac. Like that shit is like so easy. It's like, and that's why one of the reasons why I love Logic so much is like Logic, you can actually turn off all the advanced features and it becomes GarageBand. Mm-hmm. And it's
what if you don't have a Mac?
Then what would be I don't even know. Like we used to mess with Audacity back in the day.
I've heard that too.
And it's free. It's not sleek or sexy, but it like gets the job done. Damn, I don't. Maybe there's some apps now, just like on your iPad or on your tablet or whatever. You can get like an audio editing device and like a little thing that plugs in for your iPad or your tablet. That's like an app or something. I don't know. I really don't know. Like Pro Tools is heavy. Cubase, Logic, all those sorts of things. There's a serious learning curve. So I would recommend it if anybody wants to like get started in a digital audio workstation, just buckle in and watch like that 4, 5, 6 hour tutorial that goes through everything. That's how I learned Final Cut. You know, I've done some video editing in the past, but like I started a brand new program and I just watched like a 4-hour tutorial that just went over everything. And it's like, cool. It's almost like reading a book. Like that's another thing I learned from how to read a book. You don't have to absorb everything on the first read. Just like, not like speed read, but just like read through it. If you only absorb 40%, cool. When you go to read it the second time, now you're bringing that 40% with you, and those details you might have missed are going to fall into place. So you don't have to get everything in that tutorial. Just like watch it, get an idea of how the program works and stuff like that, and then just buckle in and, you know, start doing projects.
That's funny you say that. Like when I'm teaching Spanish, because I teach like Spanish on the side to my students, I always have them read something in Spanish, and I always tell them like, you're not going to understand barely anything, but even if you learn one word like that, you've learned one word, you know what I mean? So like, don't worry if you read this and you're like, what the fuck am I reading? Like, even if you pick up one new vocabulary word, that's like how you're going to do it. And another side thought I had, like kind of going back to what we were talking about with like multi-creatives and stuff like that. So I was listening to this doctor on a podcast, and he was talking about how when you take your vitamins, don't take them every day. He said because like he's like always go through a break of when you take them, because your body gets used to them and then they no longer work. So I kind of applied that to being a multi-creative, and it kind of gave me a little comfort in knowing that like there is a plus to bouncing from thing to thing, because you're always challenging your brain. It's kind of like that vitamin. Like you're not just, if I just play piano every day, like I'll be amazing at piano, but I'll be pretty fucking dumb like otherwise. But if I'm like doing piano, doing comedy, doing podcasts, bouncing around from thing to thing, and I find a way to make a rotation, I'm always challenging myself. But I think the key is to always be consistent with the rotation. Like I can't just do piano for 6 months and just do podcasting for 6 months. Like I got to do podcasting 2 days a week, piano 2 days a week, comedy. Like I got to be consistent with everything. But I don't know. I just like thought of that because it's like that vitamin thing kind of really like opened my eyes to the fact that being a multi-creative is good, because you're always challenging yourself. You know, you're never, you're growing constantly, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely better to practice like 1 hour a day for 7 days than to practice like 7 hours one day and then take 6 days off.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, and then you got the whole burnout thing. Like if you go too hard on something, then it can get a little boring or like a little tedious.
But you can't focus for that long. Like who the hell's going to, you're going to be like dazed out, like wasting your time, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. One more, we're going to jam soon.
Oh shit. I forgot we were going to do that.
We're going to do that. We'll set up and everything, but I have one last question for you before we do that.
Can we play some free jazz?
Okay, I'm nervous to jam. Side note to everybody out there, I have a classical background. I'm just learning how to play jazz. He's a jazz cat. He's experienced. I'm so scared. Like, but what
free jazz is just like a keyword for. Nah, I'm not gonna go down.
Don't go down it.
I don't know. It's just like even the word jazz is like, what the fuck is jazz anyway?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Like jazz to me was always kind of like an approach to music. It's definitely a genre and it's definitely a type of music, but you got like everything from the early like Dixieland and all that kind of stuff to the blues. Yeah. And then bebop, and like it's been around for so long. It's like you could say jazz and you could be talking about one of so many different things. So it's, yeah. And I'm not even really, I always loved jazz since I was like 17, 18, but I didn't really study it. You know what I mean? Like in
do you think it has
formal
like,
situation.
Do you think it has like an like people take it more? I don't know how to phrase this question without sounding like. Do you think that maybe jazz music has like more of a, like it sounds scarier than it actually is? Like, so what you're saying, it's actually just kind of like a free thing. Like it's kind of like a self-expression type of thing. So technically jazz is a self-expression. And I guess like people like take it too seriously and get intimidated by it, and maybe there's like a lot of ego in the jazz business and stuff like that.
I don't want to go down that whole route. I think like if you look up the definition of jazz, it's like it says it's like an improvised music with like a swing beat.
Oh,
I think that's like
like the actual definition.
Yeah, the actual definition, like in the dictionary. So, yeah. So I think when people are locked into that classical thing, and it's like you have to play what you see, and I didn't really go through those lessons. I can only imagine. But there's a lot of there's lacking an emphasis on just like playing in the sense of like the
like
freedom,
enjoying yourself, like a little kid playing in a sandbox kind of thing.
Well, I can't really know if someone, like that. Like, I don't know if it could be very enjoying. Like some of these kids are like prodigies at like 4 years old. They're definitely enjoying the shit out of that. Yeah. I hope, or they're being forced to do it. But, like people enjoy different things, and you can approach it as work or you can approach it as play. Yeah. And I think there's definitely, you got to have that playful aspect. And then I think a cure for a lot of people that maybe want to get into jazz but they're intimidated is just to play along the recordings and try to find the notes that sound good. And you can pull up the chart and see what the chords are and just like put those like classic records on, like on repeat, and just jam along to the musicians that recorded them. And it's like, it's a cool, and it's fun as hell. I used to do that with Bob Marley all the time when I was in high school.
I saw
and
one
like,
of your videos.
I just like any kind, it doesn't even have to be jazz, but it's like, it's training your ear and you're like learning songs, and you know, you're exposed to the essence of what that artist intended when they created it. So you can kind of like download that as you're seeing where your sound, whatever instrument you're playing, like fits into it. So
so I guess I just shouldn't overthink it. I accidentally like texted you a rhyme, but I liked it. What did I say to you the other day? I said, I am what I am, and that will be the jam, or something. Like,
that was amazing. I was like, holy shit.
Totally coincidence, but it like literally like I'm like, oh my God, I don't know jazz. I have to, but it's like I am what I am. Whatever music is in me is what I've absorbed as at this point. I can't overthink it. Whatever I am, and that is the jam. So
that's something I've actually been thinking about for the past year or two is especially with creative endeavors, it's a lifelong journey. It's an ever receding horizon. It doesn't matter what level of mastery you get to. Yeah. There's going to be something else you can acquire in your skill set or the way you approach it. So you have to be comfortable, not you, but like it helps to be comfortable. It helps to be comfortable where you're at now.
Yeah.
And it's just a part of the journey, and you can't not be where you are now. So that's like recently, the past year or two, I've been mastering songs, and mastering is like I can take something that somebody's been working on for 2 years and like completely fuck it up in 2 hours because I'm the last person to touch it before it's released online. And I was kind of self-conscious about it, but I was getting a lot of really good feedback, and I had a few mentors. So it's kind of just like, okay, you know, I am where I'm at, and this is how I master it. And if you don't fuck with it, that's what it is. Yeah. And I'll just approach the next one where I'm at when I approach that one. And then, you know, that mindset can accompany you along the journey as you continue to work on yourself and develop. And you just...
Yeah, there needs to be a balance between perfectionism and acceptance. Like, you know what I mean? And that's something I have to work on for the new year. I actually touched on that in my last podcast. Like how I'm always telling you like, oh, I'm almost ready to record my song, but my lyrics aren't perfect. Like I realize at some point I'm just like, I'm never going to like my lyrics. Like I just have to fucking put them out there. Like, you know what I mean? Definitely something I got to work on, like to come to that point of like acceptance of exactly where I am, because that feeling will never go away. Like you can always be better. There's always going to be somebody better than you, you know?
Yeah, and when you're doing music or anything, you got to finish things because you got to move on to the next one. Yeah. And give the next one time to develop. It's like it's a baby. At some point you got to release it into the world, and then
at some point you got to kill it.
At some point you just got to end its life. No. Terrible. Oh my God, fucking Sam Morril was talking about the kid that got eaten by the alligator. Oh, that shit had me rolling. I was like,
I'm glad. So, we're gonna go see Sam Morril, the comedian, in person. I'm so
Yes.
fucking excited. So
Are you sure it's okay if I go?
yeah, why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. I kind of like invited myself.
No,
but
I didn't want to invite anybody. Like, not that I didn't want to invite you, but
I'm not going.
I didn't.
It's
No,
not gonna
you
happen.
can come. You can come. But I didn't invite anybody. I don't know. I'll explain later. I don't know how to explain it right now. You're more than welcome to come. You're more than welcome.
Not good enough.
We'll talk later. We'll talk later. Okay, so my last question for you is: do you have any quotes that? Do you have any quotes that inspire you to keep going? Like, it doesn't have to be a lifelong quote. It could
if I cannot botch this one, fucking this Jim Rohn shit that I have up in my bedroom. I should have this down. Your level of success. Hold on. Fuck, I'm gonna fuck it up. Your level of success will not exceed your level of personal development, because success, you attract success by the type of person you become. Something along those lines.
Wait, can you say it again?
God damn, I fucked that up. All right. Your level of success will not exceed your level of personal development, because success is what you attract by the type of person you become. I might have mixed it a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think that's the gist of it. So it's like, you gotta keep working on yourself as a person if you want. You can't focus on the success. You gotta focus on the development, and then
That's
the
kind
success.
of what you're just
is what-
talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's all about the journey. It's all about the journey, baby.
All about the journey. Come on, take this ride with us. VTX all day.
VTX. One thing that's been working for me, quote wise, which is a totally unhealthy quote. I don't recommend it for anybody, but
here
I'm
we
going to
go.
say it anyway. So Mike Tyson, I was reading something about him recently, and his background story is very interesting. The way he became an amazing boxer, he was adopted by a man who was a psychologist and a hypnotist, but also a like part-time, I guess he was a multi-creative as well. He was also part-time like a boxing coach. So he actually he actually hypnotized Mike Tyson, and one of the things he said to him when he was a kid, and one of the things he would say to Mike Tyson is, "You don't exist, only the task does." And I've been using that's like very unhealthy, but I've been using because I don't know why it's unhealthy, but I feel like if you use it wrong, if you misuse it, you could think that like nobody's feelings matter, like we don't exist. Like, but the way I've been using it is like, I don't even know how to explain.
It's like a don't think, do type of thing.
like
you gotta be on a certain level before you can like not take something like that personally.
Exactly.
And understand where it's
But
coming
I'm just
from.
like,
It's not for
don't-
everyone.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, but for me, it's been working. It's like, you don't exist, just the task does. So like when I'm tired or when I'm feeling self-critical, I'm just like, shut the fuck up and just go. Like, so it's like, I don't
David
exist.
Goggins always talks about like when your mind starts to tell you you're tired or you're ready to quit, you're probably got like a good 30-40% left.
So that, I think we've had enough questions,
Yeah.
but now we can set up for the jam. So we are going to jam. I am what I am. So let's jam.
Damn.
Damn.
So we hope y'all enjoyed this jam. Definitely like, subscribe, do all those things. Andrea's doing really good work out here, grinding hard, trying to get out good information, all those gems, that gem talk. And if you're interested in VTX Studios, it's a full production house with plenty of talented people to get whatever kind of project with the freedom to do it how you want to do it. You know what I mean? So holler at us. Bang.